welcome back. I have noticed that on YouTube there is a distinct lack of World War II Italian painting tutorials, so today I'm going to take you step by step through the process I use to get effective miniatures ready for the table fast. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe so you'll always catch the new videos when they come out. So the troops that we're going to be concentrating on specifically are the Bersaglieri, with the distinctive black part on their helmets. Can't think of the name right now. So we start off with the sort of sandy khaki colour for their uniforms. As you can see, these miniatures are 15mm. I 3D printed them, but this technique will work for any of your troops that you can find, 3D printed or non. The artwork that I found shows different styles. Some have darker trousers, some have grey trousers, some have grey tops, so it does give you scope for a lot of personalisation, or you can always just go more of the one-size-fits-all approach, which is what I'm doing. Doing a bit of research, I found that the platoons were around 2 sections, but each of the sections was quite large. You were looking at about 14 to 20 men per section, so yeah, quite an interesting force organisation. So what I've done with the paint is I've watered it down slightly using flow improver and matte medium, and that just makes it turn into a little bit more of a, not a wash, but kind of just a little bit more liquidy, and that way it goes into the recesses. When I spray painted them, I spray painted black, and then I did a light zenithal spray with grey over the top. So by using these methods of diluting the paint slightly, it means that the lighter areas will remain lighter and the darker areas will be darker, and it gives you that bit of natural highlighting. So next up we've gone for chocolate brown from Model Colour, and I'm using this for the boots on the miniatures and also their rifles. Yeah, the sort of rifle stocks. You could probably use this colour on some of their trousers if you wanted to, as I said earlier, the different units, probably as the war progressed. I also heard a story about when Tripoli got taken, and lots of the Italian units after that were basically equipped with British equipment, stuff that they'd captured. So really, they can be very unique depending on how you want them to be. Which is what I always quite like in the miniatures. I'm more of a I like them all to be uniform, but I do like to see when other people paint them up and they have them all quite unique and distinct and individual. It's not something I'm so interested in, but I do like to see it because it's more historically accurate than the way I do it. It's quite interesting to see that most of the pictures depict their leather pouches, ammunition pouches being grey. So to that end, I've used Army Painter Uniform Grey to do these. So it is quite a light grey, and as I've said in other videos, I tend to go a shade lighter when I'm painting than possibly other people do, purely because later on I will be putting a dark wash over, and then that will dull everything down, and then I go back in with the original colours just to re-highlight and pick out those features, so that's why I always go one shade less. And then some of them have backpacks, so I've done the backpack itself, the backpack I've done in the dark brown, the chocolate brown from the previous colour, and the bedroll itself I've done in grey. They also have shovel entrenching tools, so the cover for that was the same colour, and their water bottles, same again. Next up, we're doing Tamiya flesh. Tamiya colour to do their flesh, and it's flat flesh. And so all I did is I just put a little bit of flow improver into it to stop it from sort of clogging, because sometimes it does go a bit lumpy, especially after a few minutes of the air being on it. So just keep that in mind if you decide to use that colour. And just carefully take the faces and the hands. So in here I've actually got two different groups of 3D printed miniatures. You've got the sort of the crews, the gun crews, the ammo carriers, etc., which were from one manufacturer, and the infantrymen running with their rifles, and the command base, they're from a separate one. The second group, I'll have to find out what website it was, and I'll add that in, are slightly crisper, slightly sharper, but both of them have pretty good detail, so I'm happy with all of them. So here we're just painting with game colour black, and we're just doing the feathers which would be on the helmet. I think originally they were put on, could be wrong, if I am, please correct me, but just as a way of kind of breaking up the outline of the head basically, which does work. I mean, if you think of the way that the Israeli army, again, can't think of the name of it, but they've got the tactical chef's hat, as it's often called, over the top, and that just breaks up the helmet and shoulders. I think this was a similar sort of effect here. So next up we've got game colour silver, and I'm using that for rifles and just anything on the figures which is metal, or should I say unpainted metal. I also did the belt buckles in silver. Then we're going to use model colour Russian green, and I'm going to use this for the ammunition cases that the machine gun assistants are carrying. It's quite a nice green, nice flat green. I do like it quite a lot, which is why whenever I get the opportunity to break it out, I take that opportunity. So often in Second World War the Italian army does get a bad rap. Let me know down below, do you think it's a justifiable situation? Do you think that they were just badly led, badly equipped, badly manned, or do you think there's more to it? I would say it's probably a combination of those rather than just the individual man being a bad soldier. I think for a certain extent they probably, as an individual, weren't too keen to be in the fight. They weren't equipped fully and ready for the fight, and all those things put together against effective enemy forces leads to a sort of obvious outcome. But that's just my opinion. So there we have our first section for the Italians. So I know they didn't necessarily run into battle with flags, but I have seen a couple of pennants in photos and pictures, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's just do it. Have the commander command figure with a pennant on his flag. Then you've got the 8-man rifle team with a junior NCO, a corporal in amongst them, a sergeant leading the whole section, and then you've got the 2 gun teams, again led by a corporal. So it's been a pretty fun project. I've enjoyed doing it. I think they've actually come out really nicely. I'm not sure if the photos do them true justice, but I will definitely be getting my second section done quickly, and then I can get some games in. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's given you some ideas on what you could expand out into. And until next time, please like and subscribe, and keep wargaming.